I'm just talking about Godot. I've got a project I want to import, and it lives in the spiders versus aliens, I believe. Versus aliens and then Godot. Oh, okay. About spiders. Spiders v aliens. Lives in the Godot. Okay, so this is a project I did for Ludum Dare quite some time ago. It was actually in Flash, so that's how long ago we're talking. And I ported it to Godot, or at least made some start on porting it to Godot, and I wanted to look at it for reference, and then I found that it was out of date already. So we're on Godot 4.12 as of today. That is the latest version, and I've upgraded a couple projects to Godot 4, and there usually are a couple problems. And I tried this, and I noticed there were some problems. And I thought I might as well document this. So what you do, first of all, I made sure that I cleaned up everything in Git and made sure I didn't have any like anything strange flying around in my working copy. Let me actually go over to you. That is full screen Godot view. Okay. And what I wanted to do is just upgrade it. So first of all, I just made sure that this is git status bigger, git status, nothing to commit, everything's clean. So let's just clear that and we'll start working. All right, so we're going to go ahead and say convert full project. So once you've got it committed, now you've got a undo button, right? So you can ignore this warning because you will not be able to go back if you do not have this under version control. So I just go ahead and say convert to full project. My project isn't big enough that I really know what that means, what the distinction is. I guess convert only the configuration file. But you really do want to convert the whole project because if you have GD script in here. I do, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. All right, so confirmation, yep. And we do have a backup, so we're going to say okay. And then Godot comes up. Disappeared from my screen for a minute, but it is somewhere around here doing its thing. Oh. Okay, so I guess that worked. That was it. All right, so re-importing assets, all the CSV stuff. I don't know that CSV is something that Godot normally imports. I wrote a CSV importer because I had made this, as I said, made it in Flash. My maps were written in CSV. That's my tile maps. And you can see that the map is here, but nothing is showing. There's no graphics on the screen. There was at one point. There was at one point graphics on the screen. And okay. So when you streaming issue here, when you move Godot up into the upper left-hand corner so that you have a working area, then it gets very cramped. But I'm going to do my best here. So if you open up the output here, I'm not playing it. I'm not starting it. Nothing is running. And you can see that it's got all this stuff. So importer is valid. So I think that's the first thing that happened. You are probably not going to have this problem if you have this. I've never seen this before. But you can learn a little bit about importers. Basically, you just have to do whatever the importer says. So, okay, then it turns out there's an easy explanation for that. This says tool extends node 2D. So I wrote a tool to extend the editor. All you have to do is just say that. You just got to put that button there. I don't know why the importer doesn't do it. It added the @ sign for the export and all this other stuff. File not defined in the current scope. Okay, this is wow. File access? Nope. Okay. File access dot open. Yes. So we don't actually have to create that. You just say you don't actually have to create that. You just say file access open I believe. I believe you can just say this. Okay. Okay. I would have expected that to clear the error, or at least given me a different error. I certainly don't see the word file here anymore. Oh, I do. Okay. Well, I didn't see it, but it is there, whether I see it or not. So there we go. Save that. And then, yeah, it has cleared the error. Okay, so there's usually a couple of these. There is a list on the site, but as you can see, I'm not looking it up. The importer catches most of them, but there are a few that doesn't. So file access is one of them. Okay, let's reload the project. So project, reload current project. To clear all those errors out and try to see if we can start again. Basically, you're going to keep doing this several times until all these errors are cleared. Okay. At some point, we will get to the editor import resource importer CSV translation CPP. Okay. Line size less equal than 1. Okay, so that means I have a CSV file that is less than 1 line. All right, so that's a parse error there. Error importing resource maps opening machinery CSV. So that's probably that error. See. Yeah. So the way this particular project works is there's just there was a visual editor, something like the Godot's editor. It was called Dame for Flash, and it was really great. And you could just make your project however you want. It had Lua embedded in it. You could export like in whatever format you wanted, but the default was CSV, and so I had this defaulted that. I had this exported that way. So I just have a bunch of CSV files. I don't know what these translation files are. These are added by this Godot. Oh, optimized translation. So it looks like they took my CSV file and they translated it into pure data, which is interesting, but it's not what I want. It's not what I'm looking for at all. In fact, I did not. I think in Godot 3 there was no support for CSV. Like it just didn't recognize CSV, and I think that might be part of the problem here. Okay, but I'm going to try and focus more on the things that most people are going to be happening, or most people are going to be encountering. No resource found for resource res.import. Okay, so I think .import is something wow. Godot. I think that says that there's something called .import here. I don't believe that's in git status import. Yeah, nothing there. So just say rm f rm rf, right? Cursive. Always do that. No. I was going to say do that to your root directory. Bad advice. Trolling. Okay, bad me. Do not give out bad advice. All right, cannot create tile. The tile is outside the texture. Tiles are blah, 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 blah. Okay. Okay. I guess the first thing to do would be to try and run this. Nothing's going to happen, I think, but oh, okay. So yeah, there's my file with nothing in it. I don't see the desktop audio doing, so I don't see that my music is playing, so probably never ported that. What it looks like in 2D, probably looks like that gray screen, right? Okay, so this is all we have. What it should be, these are walls. Some of those are spiders. Some of these might be guns and so forth. So basically, you have like this little ship that looks kind of like a like a pi, the Greek letter pi, and maybe this is outside the ship. This is your ship outside the ship. You've been captured by a bunch of dentists, aliens called dentists that are in here, and they have a bunch of spiders. Actually, you have a bunch of spiders in your stomach because you've been infected with a bunch of spiders. And in the opening scene, the spiders jump out of you and kill all the dentists in the room that are trying to, like, the aliens in the room that are trying to kill you. The aliens, everything in this game is made like it was in Flash, but it was designed with the idea of ASCII graphics in mind. So everything is like a wingding character or something. It's not exactly ASCII graphics, but it's inspired by that. So everything is like a font, and your ship is made of like pieces. Like everything is made out of typefaces, or symbols in a particular typeface. Your ship is called the Consolus, and then anyway, you're going around, and you wake up in this room over here, or in this room right here. You escape. Or you wake up after the spiders have, the dentists came in, the aliens came in, they cut you up into pieces. The spiders jumped out of you, killed the aliens on your behalf, and so you survived the encounter with the dentists. And then you wake up to find that all the ones in your room are dead, but then outside there are more, and you have these spiders, and you can pick them up with your hands and fling them at the dentists. And then when you get up here, there's some like turrets and stuff that you can turn on and off with switches, and then you have to avoid them and or use them to kill the bad guys. And up here somewhere, there, I think in this little room here, there is a it's called the Geist, Mimeogeist, and it's basically a machine that mirrors your actions, or it's a little ghost-like thing that can do whatever you do. And it's in this little cage here, and if you let it out of the cage, then it can now pass through walls and stuff. So you have to use that to solve a puzzle, and then you basically get through here, and then you finally get the teleporters to work, and you wind up getting out of the ship, and you are able to make it back to your ship and end the game and escape. And so it's a little tiny world where you have an encounter with these aliens called Harvey Goldsmile. It's called Spiders versus Aliens. Ernie Goldsmile in Spiders versus Aliens. Ernie Goldsmile in Spiders versus Aliens. Yeah, and that's it. That's the name of the thing. And I have a Harvey Goldsmile related to Ernie and some other. So it's very small and very cute game, and this is the map for it, and it would look a whole lot better if you could see the tiles. So let's try and get that working. All right, let's see what's in the debugger. All right, so the errors say, I should cut all this, right? You got to cut all this stuff when you're talking about it. I'll make a video about this game, right? When this is just meant to be about how do you do this. Okay, parse error. So let's start with anything that's a parse error. Resource not found. Okay. This tells me that, oh, okay, we deleted that file, so let's reload current project one more time. Let's start there. Failed to load script, CSV tilemap.gd. So this is, again, a tool. That we saw earlier was mob importer, and we fixed that one. Putting this here. So the same thing here. Tool. So if you have that keyword, now it runs while it's inside the editor. All right, cannot use file. This is very easy. File access. New. No, sorry, file access open. Read. Oh, CSV. Read. You can't see any of that, can you? I can't see any of it. So how could you see it? Make you see it. Okay. That was bad. All right. So I just fixed that line. Nothing. It said F open down here with those parameters, and it was the same fix as before. All right, cannot use a simple export annotation with variables without type or initializer, since can't type can't be inferred. It is a string. It is a file. So let's say string. I think you can actually say it's a resource, but that's fairly important. Okay, so now bugger. What do we have? All right, I'm going to reload it one more time. Whenever you're dealing with tools, you write the tools in the same language you use to write like any other node. All you have to do is add this word tool, and that becomes something that's active in the editor, and that means you can interact with it in edit mode while you're doing this. And so what this actually is something that reads those CSV files and then imports them into the current scene. So in the main, so like, let's look at this. We have alien GD, which is just, is it dead or not? This is one of the sprites. Looks like I had started writing on the as I said, they're like kind of ASCII-like graphics, even though they're multicolor. They have a flag. This is whether they're alive or not. So there's that. And it looks like I started on that, and that's like the only thing that I've actually done to make this anything more of a game other than showing the map. Okay, so that's where this game is. But what I was interested in looking up today was how the tile map works. I haven't looked at tile maps in a long time in Godot, so that's what I was interested in today, and that's where I'm at. Okay, so I don't make floating. Yes, we're gonna make that floating, and we're gonna move this and make all these floating. I hardly ever use history, and I do use the node Explorer, and we will use it in a minute, and I will just put it right over here so that I can get to it, and then I'll bring it back on the screen when it's useful. As I said, so much easier when you have the whole screen, but I'm in a corner of my screen here. Plus, the font's big, trying to make it so it's readable on your screen. Okay, and especially on mobile, watching this mobile. Okay, so after that reload, it looks like this. Okay, so let's just run it now. And look at what the debugger says. Debugger, go to errors. Resource not found. Okay, I'm STX. I don't know what that is. Some kind of texture. Start tiles.png. Okay, first of all, that should be there. Start. Oh, I see. No, it's there. Okay. Star. Assets. Press texture. Dimension 0 by 0. Okay. So I don't know what's up with that. This. We hardly ever need to use both of these at the same time, so let's just dock this up here. Okay. And then we'll switch over to, I bet we will need to use. Yeah, okay. You have to go to the file system, and then you click on aliens, all these little things, and we're just gonna say re-import. Click on those and you say import 26 files, import as texture 2D. I guess that's fine. I don't really know what the difference is, but they are textures for a sprite, so I think that's fine. Lossless, yes, because they're pixel perfect. Whatever, they're not really pixel perfect. It wasn't a pixel art game. But ideally, I mean, you want them to be lossless. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and hit re-import. Okay, I don't know. Let's see now if the do it one more time. This might not be necessary. I'm just expecting to see some things on the screen that are... Oh, there we go. Yep, so that did it. There is my map. Right. So we don't see the tiles yet. So okay, that's just driving me nuts. Not how I expect things to work. Even though that was beneficial, I think I'll just move this down. Okay, so we have a bunch of individual tiles for this is what I was really interested in here today. Terrible videos. Did not plan this at all. I'm just exploring. Just exploring. Yeah, so I was looking at just I wanted to see how I did this. So this is the environment and the tile map, and maybe I'll break this into 2 videos and talk about the tile map once I. Obviously it's better to make a video about the things you actually know about. I'm making a video about just exploring what I used to know about. So whatever. I think these are black tiles, and then they're coming together kind of jankily, I guess you would say. These lines were not present in the original game. I think this was... I think this is an artifact of the import process. I seem to recall something like this happening in the past. Not sure. Okay, but so I think I didn't look in the mobs directory. No, something's wrong here. Because like these should be aliens, or either aliens or spiders or little boxes just lying around. Various like just little kinds of boxes. Heart boxes, checkpoints, cannons. I don't know what a checkpoint did. Cannon like actually shot like a little lightning bolt. Like it looked like that lightning bolt symbol, and it just moved across the screen. It was silly. Okay. Anyway, let's see what the outputter is saying now. So we still have an empty thing. So every one of the maps, so this map and then the opening map, which was just focused on this room. Basically, it was the same map, but only this room, because you couldn't see the rest of the ship. You couldn't see outside. It was just like zoomed in super close here. This is you. You're a little smiley face. You are hero, right? Let's figure out. We'll figure out that in a minute. But you're the hero. You're lying on this bed here, and then all these guys are around you. Well, it turns out they've, they're dead in this scene. But in there's a cut scene in the start where it says like explains what's going on in like one paragraph, and then it's saying that that for that scene there's no machinery in there, so there's nothing in that layer, and it's just mad about this CSV import. So that's actually fine, but in my game, but if Godot has a problem with it, then I guess we gotta deal with it. But okay, so that's the only issue I see here. Okay, well, that was a lot of rambling. I think this is a stupid video. I'm gonna turn this off because all that I really wanted to show was that you can change those 2 things with file access and tool, and like those are the 2 main things that I've encountered. And then there's a list. Maybe I should just look up the list and find where that list is. Maybe I should look up my list. I have notes on it. And maybe I'll put this into like a really short video. Just look real quick, just search in OneNote, see if I have it like handy. I think I have like. So, I'll search for Godot. Godot 4 changes. Yeah. All right, so here be dragons. Godot engine 4.2 documentation in English. 4.2? Oh, maybe that's the version they're working on right now. I don't think that's been released yet. It's still in beta. I downloaded what I thought was the latest last night. It was 4.12. 4.12. Anyway, in every case I've tried it, and I've used it for mostly for tools that are related to recording video and talking to other languages like Rust and J. Or Rust, I wrote a Rust plugin to talk to J, and I used these upgrade tools, and every time it was been just simple things like that. And there's a couple things that it would always say. Yeah, you just have to go down this list, and every time you see something that's wrong, or it said file, right? So you would think the word file would be right here. Probably is. No, E. Okay, so file access. Yeah, okay. So file, yeah, you just got to search this page. You got to keep this page open. And how do you get there? Migrating to a new version. So Godot for migrating. And look for upgrading from Godot 3 to Godot 4 in the docs. Yeah, this is probably what you want. The docs.godot engineering stable tutorial. I would just look it up on Google. And yeah, you know what? It's a dumb video. I'm gonna stop wasting people's time and turn this off. Maybe I'll come back and start another one that is a little more focused on either my game or on how tile